ウエストン校、テムズ川のほとりに存在する英国屈指の名門パブリックスクール。
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
And today we're covering the fourth arc of Black Butler, the public school arc.
Now this takes a more lighthearted route after the dark storyline of season 3 in the movie by having Ciel and Sebastian going undercover
Again.
at a prestigious public school to find the whereabouts of the Queen's missing nephew. But
Before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, notification links, and future podcasts and one of Paws videos.
yes, thank you so much for joining us, for subscribing, sharing our videos, and commenting. We appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who may not be familiar, this is based on a Japanese manga series illustrated and written by Yana Toboso. And it's been out quite a while. It's been running since September of 2006. It currently has 34 volumes. And it's a dark comedy, dark fantasy, and supernatural. And Sebastian is one of those favorite characters, voiced by J. Michael Tatum. And we actually got to see them, he and the voice actor for Ciel, I think Brittany Lauda,
I think so.
be
Hope it's
interviewed
correct.
on the anime dungeon. I'm sorry, the anime
Fact.
effect. I'm sorry, I call it that. And it actually was fun seeing them together and seeing that it's Brina Palencia, forgive me, and seeing how well they get along together off camera and how they really have a friendship and they've even worked together on other anime.
Right.
So I wanted to mention that because by seeing that, you really understand their voice acting chemistry when you're listening to them.
Right.
Regardless of the season, it's just perfection.
Right. And as we said, this one takes a much more lighthearted route. And you're probably like, but it's Black Butler, it shouldn't be lighthearted. Well, this one it was, because season 3 was such a harsh one, and we established that that is actually a canonical storyline in the manga, while the first 2 seasons were completely original. And it goes pretty accurately in its telling. So I guess the author decided, because this one is canon as well, the public school arc, they decided, okay, we need to balance out that really dark, really cruel arc. So we'll have something very fun and lighthearted up until one of the last episodes to balance it out. And really, for the most part, it's the cleanest and most hilarious season of Black Butler, and it's canon.
What was most exciting is that there had been a big hiatus or an absence of the Black Butler anime.
For years.
So we were very surprised, like those long running fans, that it was coming back and that this is the arc that was going to be covered. So when it was first announced, we all were losing our minds and very happy that it was returning.
Right.
And upon its return, you see that, of course, it has a different look in the animation.
Right.
And for this arc, Sebastian has a different look. He's still sexy. And you have a splendid cast, I have to say, of side characters or secondary characters that appear in this arc.
Yes.
Everyone was fantastic. When you listen to the performances, it's just like a group that's been together for so long.
Yeah.
And they work well off of each other. The characters, they are extreme. Some have some real crazy quirks. You've got a villain who gets his comeuppance quickly, one of the students.
Right.
And then you have a multiple group that ends up being the main villains. No spoilers for you.
Right.
And
they're all in charge of their own houses, like Hogwarts.
And then you're actually happy with the ending of the season.
Yes.
It's a very satisfying ending. It does get darker the last few episodes.
True.
But they have that standard baseball episode that's actually cricket in here.
Right.
And it's absolutely hilarious.
Yes. And like you said, this one is just so comedic, but it's not done in a way where it becomes a farce and it's a joke and you don't watch the show. It just takes the seriousness of the matter, takes the fact that Ciel's going to a public school, well, a private school, public school there, and has to interact with other kids his age, and it just makes it hilarious. He still acts majority the same. He just thinks everyone's an idiot and is appalled by them wanting to interact with him, and it's hilarious. And Sebastian kind of takes fun in it and is like, what is wrong with you? So it's just him kind of reacting to everything. That's part of what makes the humor so well, because he's still the same majority of the time, but he's wondering why is everyone so peppy.
And two things that stood out as being different is, one, you don't hear him, Sebastian, saying his line, "I'm one hell of a butler."
Well,
And
because
you
he's a
missed
teacher.
it. I know, but you still miss it. And two, in here, Ciel actually solves most of his own problems.
Mhm.
You don't have Sebastian coming to his aid as often as you did the first 3 seasons.
Right.
You get to see him be more hands-on and tell Sebastian he wants to handle things himself.
Right.
So that was actually different and refreshing, and you see that he's capable of handling a lot of things himself.
Right. And they actually made it work the whole time. Again, it never felt like it was something off kilter or it didn't feel right, didn't feel it fit with Black Butler. Even amongst this environment, he was still going through development. And another thing that made it funny is that he got to, like you said, he got to interact with kids his own age, and even they're not as serious as him. I mean, they do take some things seriously, but they're like, you act like you're like 35. And there's this one kid that constantly wants to be his friend. He's like, go away. He doesn't go away. And you got the prince coming in and wanting to be his friend. He's like, please go away until he needs him. He's like, okay, you can come. And he actually ends up having fun when it gets to the cricket episode we mentioned, because it goes off the rails and everyone's reacting like, why is this all happening? It's a school game. But they're acting like this is the fate of the world hinges on this game for them to win.
And as you did mention, this is really a great season because Book of Circus was so dark, with the revelation of so many things that we didn't know.
Right.
If you're not a manga reader, which we aren't, and I've heard the manga is fantastic, but it was so dark, especially with learning Ciel's true backstory, what happened to the parents.
Oh man, right?
It was just so dark and so sad, especially the last episode. It was just, there was no way to describe it, mind-blowing. And I teared up quite a bit watching it. So it was great to have this public school art. It was fun, it's exciting, and some things you can figure out and some you can't, and there's no way in heck you will if you haven't read the manga. This definitely is going to be one of those seasons that stands out as being one of the most popular as years go by.
Yes.
And then we're treated to, at the end of the season, a preview, or I guess you should say a teaser, of the next arc, Season 5, the Emerald Witch arc, that's going to come out in 2025.
Right.
So I just want to mention that the series was originally licensed by Funimation, but Funimation lost the rights, after the first 2 seasons, and they were actually acquired by Aniplex of America.
Oh, wow, that explains it.
And last but not least, as of 2024 of this year, as of March of this year, the manga has sold over 35 million copies, making it one of the best-selling manga series of all time.
Wow, well, I guess it really earned it.
So if you've seen the public school arc of Black Butler, let us know in the comments below. If you haven't, it's available on Crunchyroll to stream.
Yes.
All the anime season is there, subbed
dubbed.
as well as dubbed.
Yep.
And if you've never watched it, this would be a good one to start off with, even if you've never seen the other seasons. I think you could watch this one on its own, and you don't have to have a knowledge of what's happened prior, and enjoy it. And I think once you see it, you'll want to go back and begin with the first season.
Right.
Come back and tell us what you think.
Right. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and with reviews for anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Yes, and look forward to joining us for more of the Black Butler movies, as well as season 5, as we mentioned, is coming out in 2025.
Yes.
And as always, thank you so much for subscribing and for joining us. We really appreciate you. And as always,
you are special. Thank you so much for watching Rascal Entertainment.
And Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.